I've never experienced fear in the way that I feel it now that I have a daughter. And so, what I do know is from experience that one of the most vulnerable people, or should I say, the most vulnerable person in the world, is a little girl without a father figure, okay? Or a father in her life, period. So, I'm going to do this whole video without pausing, I'm going to do it without editing, and I'm going to do it without showing any emotions. At least I'm going to try. Okay. So before I start, I want to put up a trigger warning because what I'm about to tell, this story, it involves racial dehumanization. It has a sexual undertone. It's like a power testing. It's a whole thing. And it involves my daughter and I, an incident that happened within about a month ago. So if this is something that you feel that you can't handle, take this opportunity now and to log off of this video. About a month ago, my daughter and I, after church, went to this mall in about 30 minutes from here because I had to do some recon, right? In the military, we call it recon. And so this particular mall is the only area or the only place in our area that has a cheesecake factory. So when we were done, and let me say this, I was there to recon a place where I had been hired as an ambassador. So I was there for something positive to get a kind of feel of the layout of where I will be doing lives and things like that because of what I had been hired to do. And so I decided that after that, we would go over to the Cheesecake Factory to have like, an early dinner, a late lunch. So I want to give you an idea of the way everything was set up. When we came in, of course, when they set us, I sat in the chair in which I'm facing out towards this way. And so the way that this was is like it's a long bench that like kind of goes towards half of the length of the restaurant, right? It's a long bench. And so in front of those long benches, you typically have a table with a chair on the other side so that you could sit down. And so depending on your party, sometimes they'll bring those tables together. So since it was just my daughter and I, of course, we had two seats, which are table with two seats. So I sat on the bench part, which I'm sharing with other people to my left and my right. She's in front of me sitting down at the table. So now I want to tell you who was on our left. On our left was a couple that looked like they was in their mid to late 60s, okay? And I knew they were married because they expressed it. On my right, sitting on the bench next to me, was a man and a woman. They looked like they were in their 60s. They were a couple as well. However, across from my daughter, across from the man was another lady so that was three of them. So now in a row, you have the gentleman because his wife was sitting in the benches with me. You have the gentleman who's facing his wife. You have my daughter sitting right here, which makes her kind of next to the guy. And then you have another woman over there. Now on the row of us, there's four of us. So all together, there's two people on our left and three people on our right. Now you got to understand of how this was going. So we're having small talk, right? And me and anybody that know me know I can go anywhere and make conversation or blend in anywhere. Doesn't matter what's going on. I can go anywhere and blend in, right? So, like I said, and I didn't mention before, my daughter and I were the only two Black people in this particular story. Okay. Now, once my daughter got our food because we was there before the people on our left. Once my daughter got her food, the man said something like he was pretending like he was gonna stick his fork in her food because he was like, "Oh my God, you're paying for me too." So he kind of like joking with it. We're laughing or whatever, right? But again, this was an older white gentleman, like I said, middle to late 60s. So after a while, his wife gets up and go to the bathroom. Once she gets up and go to the bathroom, it's at this moment where this man took it to compliment my daughter and her beauty and how sweet she was and things like that. So again, me being who I am, right away, my antennas went up. My antennas went up because my thing is, why you wait till your wife leave to say something to my daughter? So she said, thank you. We said, thank you. We went on about our business. So now here it is. It's time for my daughter and I to get ready and leave. And as we're about to leave, the man repeats himself. He says, she's such a beautiful girl. She's beautiful, mannerable and everything. Then he goes on to say, If you ever want to sell her, you let me know. That's what he said to me. That man said to me, if you ever want to sell her, you let me know. Now, I had a lot of decisions to make in that moment. I did. I tell you what, when I tell you I understand this life and what I'm supposed to do, because honey, tell me, what would you have done if somebody said that to you about your daughter? If you want to sell it, if you ever want to sell it, let me know. And again, this was an elder white man. Okay. Let me know down below.